Day 6. Welcome.
Get to the point.
Okay, jeez. There will be two arrays of integers. Determine all integers that satisfy the following two conditions. First condition, the elements of the first array are all factors of the integer being considered. Second condition, the integer being considered is a factor of all elements of the second array. These numbers are referred to as being between the two arrays. Determine how many such numbers exist. Write to it. Three methods. In the first one, get total x, we have in the beginning three variables and a while loop. The three variables, they contain first number to check, and we take the smallest one in the first list, and then the last number until when we want to check. It's the last number or the maximum number in the second list. And we have also a counter of the numbers that comply with the criteria mentioned in the instructions. For the while loop, we check if we are still in the range, and the number we check is still in the range, and if it's a factor and has factors, in that case we count up the counter. Those two methods, what they are doing, although the naming it's switched up. So for the method is factor, which actually should be named has factors, we check if in the list that we provide, the number we are checking is a multiple of all the numbers in the list. And the second method, what it does is just it checks if all the numbers in the list divide perfectly with the number we check. In that case, it is a factor for all the numbers in the list. In a contrary case, we return false. So in that case, we don't count up the counter of numbers. And this is the solution. Maria plays college basketball and wants to go pro. Each season, she maintains a record of her play. She tabulates the number of times she breaks a season record for most points and least points in a game. Points scored in the first game establish her record for the season, and she begins counting from there. The array of scores and the representation scores are in the same order as the games played, and as seen in this image. Given the scores for a season, determine the number of times Maria breaks her records for most and least points scored during the season. Okay. We take two variables, min record and max record, to store the records for each case. Initially they are the score of the first game, so yeah, and we have a list for the number of records. On the position 0 we have the max record number of times, and on the position of 1 is the min record number of times. So how many times she achieves a minimum record or a maximum record. 0 for maximum, 1 for minimum. And only thing we do, we just iterate to the list of scores for each game, and we check two things. First one, if the current score of the game it's smaller than the minimum record. In that case, we need to update our minimum record to the current score that we are checking, and also to increase the number of records for the position 1, because we achieve another minimum record. In case this check is not true, it's possible that we achieved a maximum record, and we check for that if the maximum record is smaller than the current score. If it's true, in that case we just update our maximum record, and also in the number of records for the position 0 we increase the value because we achieve a new maximum record, and in the end we just return the number of records in the list. Two children, Lily and Ron, want to share a chocolate bar. Each of the squares has an integer on it. Interesting chocolate. Lily decides to share a contiguous segment of the bar selected such that, if you ask what contiguous means, I had the same question, and basically consecutive. The length of the segment matches Ron's birth month, and the sum of the integers on the squares is equal to his birthday. Determine how many ways she can divide the chocolate. That's a way of doing it. In the beginning we do just a simple check to see if the month number is not bigger than the number of the chocolate tables. Because if it is, then it doesn't make sense, so we just return 0. Otherwise, we take two variables, the count of options. We want to do to solve the problem in just one iteration, so complexity of O at the end, and then another sum and another variable for sum. First iteration, we just start from 0 until the n-1, so we check the first case to say so, and for each position we just sum up all the values at each position. If the sum it's equal with the day of birth, in that case we count up the option. Otherwise, we just continue and do another iteration, but in this case we go from m until the total number of values in the S list minus 1. And what we do is just for each element, we just remove the first initial element in the sum and add the current one. So this is called the window wipe method or something like that. And after we do that, we just check again if the sum is equal with d, and we count up the options, and we continue to do this for each element in the array till we complete the iteration and just return the count of options.
With this being said, see you tomorrow.